Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Roar Time with head coach Jason Gibson, director of operations of your Columbus Lions.
We're all fired up
All
today, aren't we?
fired up, coach. I tell you, I mean, we're in the zone, coach, and it feels good to be in the zone, man.
This is going to be a really interesting show.
Very much so, very much so. I know we've got a lot of sidebar conversation that's been held, and I just want to say congratulations to our Lions once again, Coach, for showing the level of intensity and the level of talent that we have within this organization. We played a very good Massachusetts Pirates.
Yeah, I mean, they match up with us well.
Yeah.
They do. They got good players. You got to give them credit. They match up with us real well, and you know, it was a really good game.
It was a heck of a game from beginning to end, Coach.
Yeah.
From beginning to end. I would be remiss, Lion Nation, if I did not say that this episode of Roar Time is brought to you in part by Collision Surgeons, Metro PCS, Rivertown GMC, and our good friends over at USAA. Coach, the sponsorship just continues to be phenomenal.
Make sure you sign up for the Metro PCS Quarterback Challenge. That's a halftime thing. That's great.
That's a very good one,
yeah,
too.
they're the official wireless provider of the Columbus Lions, and I've been seeing them everywhere, too. So
they have been doing some phenomenal things.
David Curtis and those guys, they're getting after it. And anyway.
In fact, Coach, one of my buddies, one of my golf buddies, a good friend of mine, was actually in that particular event.
Oh, really? Did he win?
He did win. He did win. But I actually recorded from where I was sitting upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And because he started off very rough, and he supposedly played some college football. So
I heard some of the throws were a little rough.
Yeah, they were a little rough. But yeah, nevertheless,
good.
Well, Coach, let's do a little recap. You know, of the game against the Massachusetts Pirates. You know, it got a little intense, very very quickly, to say the least.
Yeah, it's good blood, bad blood kind of thing. Good game. All three games have came down to the last play of the game.
Yeah.
That series could go 2 games to 1 us, 3 games to none them, 3 games to none us. I mean, every single game. I mean, that's great entertainment. You know, it's heart-stopping as a coach.
Yeah, and it's definitely as a fan. I mean, if I could pay, get paid $1 for every time a fan comes up to me after the game and says, "Man, I cannot stand these kinds of games, but I love sitting on the edge of my seat to see what the outcome is going to be."
I mean, and what's really cool is, you know, from a fan standpoint, both the games that we lost that came down to the last minute was on their place, and their fans got to see the victory. And then, of course, then you look back and in our victory. So it was,
yeah,
it was fun.
It was heart racing, whatever you want to call it. All of those adjectives that you can use about how exciting this game was from the moment of kickoff to the end were just phenomenal. Well, Coach, looking at it, we had no TDs in the first quarter. You know, it was kind of ugly there coming out the gate. You know, Massachusetts had us 12-3.
No, I mean, it was nuts. I mean, I think it was the other way around. I think we were up 12-3.
We were up 12. I'm sorry.
We were up 12-3. Yeah. We started the first quarter. Their offense is so explosive, and for them to have 3 points after the first quarter, I thought, hey, we made some improvements. We're striding.
Correct.
You know, I think at one point it was 5-3.
Yeah.
You know, a field goal and a deuce. We'll talk about the deuce later.
Oh, yeah, that's deuce phenomenon going on right now.
But we came out of the first quarter 12-3, and I'm feeling good about ourselves. I'm thinking, and even after we threw an interception that went off the top of the wall, which, by the way, I was wrong. That is a live ball.
I was going to ask you about that because I think there was a lot of confusion about that.
I learn rules every week, but it was the right call.
Okay.
It was a live ball. That was huge. That was the first drive of the game.
Yeah, it was.
And that's the thing about Mass. You know, you got to get up on them because they can score just like we can, quickly.
Yeah.
But to go out of the first quarter 12-3, it felt pretty good, and I was just kind of hoping let's just keep this thing going.
Keep
and hang
momentum
on.
going. Yeah. Well, and then come second quarter, Mass all of a sudden just explodes. 25 unanswered points?
That's kind of been a problem for us because every game there's a quarter where we'll give up 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, and it's happened in the Jacksonville game, it happened in the Mass game up there, it happened in the Mass game down here, and just trying to slow it down, and they kind of got back in the game. I think going into halftime it was we were up by 1, 26-25.
Correct.
And that game should have been a lot different than it was at halftime.
Yeah.
And they were getting the ball back. which was huge. You know, we threw a pick on the last play of the halftime.
Yeah, we did.
You know, I was trying to do something stupid. You know, we're at a little razzle-dazzle, double pass, trying to catch them off guard. They didn't fall for it. They intercepted it, and I think they scored on that drive to pull the game within one.
Correct.
And, you know, I go in the locker room, and I'm livid. I'm livid at myself for what's a stupid play call. And
Well, at least you can admit it, Coach.
yeah, it was really bad. I mean, I was really mad. Usually I don't get like that as far as, you know, like hanging on to a play.
Yeah.
I just really felt like I put us in a bad position, knowing they were getting the ball back and them getting the ball and coming out and scoring, which they did. And it was just it's a bad momentum swing for us, and I got to make sure we stay away from it. They did a good job in the first half of nickel and diming it.
Yeah.
Now, I found out later through the grapevine, their goal was to control the ball and not let us get the ball, you know, even in arena. And I used to do that. And tell you what, man, towards the end of the game, when you look at it, I mean, we only had the ball for 30 plays. We didn't have the ball very long. They doubled us on the time of possession. And it did. It felt that way. It felt like we were, you know, defense was on the field forever. But, again, going into halftime, we made some adjustments. There was some talk inside in the locker room of some adjustments. We made a couple adjustments. And it's just something we needed, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, then comes the third quarter, and Maz is leading 49-33. At this point, you know, things are looking a little daunting for us.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, in the first half we made some great defensive plays. You know, we had a pick six by Larry Edwards, which we needed, which was I talked about wanting to have a defensive score and points on special teams. I felt that until we could score in all three phases of the game, we weren't going to be a championship caliber team. Yeah. So of course we signed the kicker, in which I'm sure that's going to be a long segment. And but then we got our first defensive touchdown in a long time. That was a great play by Chris Pickett, tips it up to Larry. He scores, but then in the third quarter, I remember sitting there looking at the clock, and I think we were down, 49-33, and I'm thinking, ooh, they're kind of giving it to us.
Yeah.
I really did. I mean, it's just being honest, and I thought, I don't know if we can dig out of this one.
Well,
but we were at home.
That's right.
We were at home, and there's just something to be said for that. So I didn't panic, but in the back of my mind, it was turning.
Yeah. Well, I think that play with Larry Edwards, and hats off to him. I don't know if he scored a touchdown all season like that on defense, but if that's his first, he wore it real well.
Yeah, he did.
He did well. And the fact that could have very well have been a momentum shifter for us throughout the course of that quarter.
That was huge.
Yeah. So
that was huge.
When we look at also the fact that there was that big turnover recovered by 93 Rosser.
That was big. I mean, I think they were up by, I don't remember the score at that point. They throw a fullback screen to the fullback, which, you know, just being honest, you got a big guy that doesn't carry the football much.
Yeah.
He touches it once the whole game, and you throw it to him, and we do what you're supposed to do. Anytime a big guy catches the ball, your first instinct is to strip it.
That's right.
We stripped it. Savon Pittman strips it with a big hit. Rosser falls on it in their territory, and to me, that was the play of the game.
Yeah.
That was the play of the game that really set the stage, because that new kicker started to warm up.
Yeah, he did.
And he hit a deuce here, and then we scored. So that's 7 plus 2, that's 9. So when you're up by 16, now that leads down to 7.
Yeah.
Then they get the ball, and we had them twice. One time we had them on a 4th and 17, and they hit us for a 40-yard touchdown. That was brutal.
That was brutal.
A little bit of a backbreaker, but then they missed the extra point. So we're scoring 9 points, they're scoring 6.
That's right.
And what happened over time was those deuces started dwindling away that 16-point lead to where it got it to a one-possession game.
Yeah.
And then that turnover happened. You know, then we get close, and wow. And then I think he hit 4 deuces in a row.
Yeah, he did. I mean, that guy was.
So there's your 8 points.
That's it right there. And his last name is Rasa.
I think it's Rasa.
Is it Ross?
Rausa?
There's one of them. I just enjoy saying it over the air because it's.
Yeah, I think it's Rausa. I don't care. Tyler is phenomenal.
There he is. Tyler is a phenomenal kicker. And where has he been all our lives?
That's there in Idaho, Boise State.
My goodness. Hey, well, we're glad that he's a part of Lion Nation. I can say that. He's made the difference. And it was very apparent in that game when we needed it most. He came through the crowd support.
Big.
Oh, my goodness.
And it gets everybody out. My favorite part of that game was when he hit that 4th deuce.
Yeah.
And he came off the bench. Every player on that bench was waiting for him. And they were so excited. And they were pounding him in his chest. And, man, you know, you're the guy. And that's what I'm talking about, because that is a huge, I mean, it really, not only is it a point swing, it's an emotional swing. For some reason, what is it about those two points that just change the emotions? And I've been on the other end of it where we've had them kicked against us.
Yeah.
You know, 1 or 2 or 3. We've played a couple games in the past where teams have hit 2 or 3 deuces, and you're just like, really?
It takes the air out you.
It's free points.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and then somebody said it to me best. You know, deuces are uncontested points.
That's it.
Whereas field goals, touchdowns, everything else is contested. You have a say in it, one way or another.
That's right.
But a deuce is uncontested. It's just, hey, here's 2 points, take them.
There you go.
And it was just a game changer, you know, leading into that final drive.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, big deal. So the Rouge factor, you know, basically kept us in the game, kept the momentum going, you know, and then also that final drive, you know,
here's what's crazy. We were on the bench. There was about 3:23 left, and I think Mass had just scored, and I'll double check. I can't remember, but I think Mass had scored, which they did. They hit that 40-yard touchdown pass. It was 4th and 17. They hit that 40-yard touchdown pass. There was 3:23 left, and I'm on the bench with Mason. I'm like, all right, what are we going to do? We're going to, because they had no time. That was huge. They had used all their timeouts.
Yeah.
So I knew they couldn't stop the clock. And there was another situation like this, 2 in the past. It's happened 3 times.
Yep.
It happened at Mass, and we fumbled it.
That's right.
It happened twice in Jacksonville. It happened in the championship game. I mean, it's eerie how similar these situations are. 4 straight times we've been in the same situation. 4 straight times we managed the clock. I ran that clock all the way out to nothing for us to line up for the chance to win the game, and we fumbled a snap, we missed a field goal, we fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
So
very critical.
Yeah, and it's just like, you know what? Do I need to change what we're doing? Do I just need to, you know, let's just go score. Let's go score points and let the defense play.
That's right.
But I was talking to the quarterback on the sideline of the team, and he's like, what do you want to do? And that's not what not to say the booklet, but that's not what you're supposed to do. I have to continue to play the odds. And the odds say run that clock out.
Yeah.
So we did, and we get in the huddle, and I remember we were sitting there at the huddle at the 1 minute mark, and I looked at everybody, and I said, here we go again. We are in the same spot. Are we going to change our course, or are we going to continue to falter? What do you want to do? So I let the clock run all the way down to 12 seconds, just like we did in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
With 2 timeouts, just like we did in Jacksonville. And called timeout, and I think there was 9 seconds on the clock. And so we ran a run play with Fortson. Now there's a bunch of controversy about it. There's no controversy. He was down all the way.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
And if he wasn't down, he was into the wall. They were like, oh, the camera angle, and he fumbled it and all that stuff. But I tell you what's crazy, they ran 8 seconds off the clock. The game almost could have ended on 0.
Oh, yeah.
But I would have contested that because if I remember correctly, when we played Carolina, we went the length of the field in 9 seconds. So don't tell me a running play from the 4-yard line took 9 seconds.
Preach, Coach.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I wasn't worried about the time, but what's ironic is as we go to line up for that last play, there's 1 second left. I got guys on the bench telling me to do a running play and don't kick it. We don't want to put the game on a kicker.
What?
Well, because, you know, we've missed the other one. And I was sitting there going, for a brief second, I thought, you know, they might be right. So I went to one of my defensive coordinators, and Rayshon Reed, he's been in arena ball as long as me, and I'm like, man, what do you think, man? I'm just asking.
Yeah.
He said, Coach, my gut tells me you kick it. He said, but if the players want to go for it that bad, put it on them and let them suffer the consequences. I thought about that for about 2 seconds. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So, you know what? You got to line up for the kick.
That's right.
You got to line up for the kick. That's what his job is to do.
That's what he does.
That's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. Just like I'm supposed to coach. Quarterback's supposed to throw, and you gotta rely on your teammates. And he put that thing right now. I'll tell you what, if you watch that film, it was a high snap. Mason Espinosa did a great job.
Yeah.
And he pulled that thing down from behind his head,
Quick.
And put it down. So, but I didn't think there was a doubt in anybody's mind he was going to make that kick.
It certainly wasn't a doubt in mine. In fact, I think everyone that was around me was saying that was the best decision you could have made.
Fine. I mean, you got a guy that hits those deuces and hits every extra point.
Come on.
And I go for it.
That's right.
Care how much you like Coach Gibson. They will run me out of this town. So, huge win.
Huge win, Coach.
Last second win, gets a good team at home, keeps us undefeated at home. There's something about playing. So they asked me earlier what I thought the difference was, and I thought it was playing in Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
If we play that game in Massachusetts, we lose.
Yeah. Without a shadow of a doubt. Something about the jungle, something about the Civic Center.
Something about the music and the announcer, you know what I'm talking about.
I just want to be able to have a chance to do what it is I do, Coach, and not be find at fault.
Well, no, it was good. I tell you what, I looked up a couple of times, and you got people in the stands dancing and having a great time. It's a great game. That's what it's all about.
The atmosphere, just
the energy was insane, and I knew. People don't know this. Whenever we walk out of the tunnel for pregame, not for pregame, for the intros, I'm always looking at the crowd, and I know what kind of night it's going to be.
Yeah.
From that point, which sounds crazy.
Oh yeah, but that's true.
But I looked in the stands and I saw the crowd at intros, which is unusual, and it was a lot.
Yeah.
And I thought this is going to be a pretty big night, and it turned out to be. And people were hollering and dancing. The music sounded great, and I heard you, and I heard the 50-point frenzy for Domino's, which was great.
We put it out there.
We hit the deuces for Popeyes.
That's right,
Free
Popeyes
apple
chicken.
pie,
There you
man,
go,
American made. And so it was just a great night all the way around for us, our sponsors, our fans, everybody.
Everybody. Excellent game. High-intensity game. And Coach, we're expecting the same level of intensity coming up this weekend. We'll get into that right after these commercial breaks because yet again, we've got those pestery Jacksonville Sharks coming back in the jungle yet again to give them a taste of what they got the first time they got here. And I said it. I'm not holding my tongue or biting it for you. You're going to get that and then some, Jacksonville, when you come back up in the jungle, and I can assure you that. So, Lion Nation, stay tuned to your seats. Be right back with more Roar Time right here with head coach Jason Gibson after these commercial messages. Stay tuned.
Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as Reserve Citizen Airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me and to serve my country.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
Rivertown Buick GMC is going deep with our deepest discounts of the year. Every select new Buick and GMC model scores with thousands below MSRP. And your team of new 2018s are lining up, backed by our low price promise. We'll meet or beat any price. You get $1,000. Plus, get the right way guarantee with limited lifetime powertrain protection. We are Rivertown Buick GMC, and we are the king of trucks.
Hello and welcome back to Roar Time with head coach Jason Gibson. I'm just the mere whisper in the wind. I'm known as Dr. Love in the jungle. Coach, it feels pretty good to, walk out in certain areas in the community and people will know me as Dr. Love. Dr. Love, hey! I'm like,
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Usually people say, hey, jerk.
It's better than being called.
That's like getting, for most people.
Is that what you get, Coach? No, you definitely don't get that. You're definitely a hometown favorite. Coach, before the commercial break, we were talking a little about what's coming up next, but we're going to get to Jacksonville. Jacksonville will give you your time. Don't worry. But, Coach, let's talk about some of the activity, the standings as it's going right now in the NAL.
Man, I tell you, the last drive of the game, I had fans, Coach, you got to see this score. I'm like, we're in the middle of a game.
Yes.
Just hold on, I'll figure it out. I'm not worried about that game, but apparently people are scoreboard watching, which is a good thing.
That's a very good thing.
It's a good thing they know other teams, but apparently Maine, which was 2-8 or 7 or whatever, I knew it was a matter of time before Coach Fuller got that thing together because he's a good coach.
Good ball club.
Maine actually beat Carolina. When I mean beat Carolina, they beat Carolina.
Wow.
They never led the whole game, or Carolina never led the whole game, and that's rough. They go from being 7-2, with a chance to beat us, to really lock in a playoff game and almost pretty much have a lock-in number 1 seed.
Exactly.
Beat pretty much. To losing 2 in a row, going on a bye week, and I would hate to have to sit on those 2 losses going to a bye week. That's rough.
Yeah.
And so they go from 1st to 4th, just like that. But that's what's great about the NAL.
That's exactly what's great about the NAL.
Jacksonville's dead in the water 3-4 weeks ago, and somehow, some way, they've scratched their way back up for a chance to, play in this game against us and actually, win this game and slide back into first place.
Yeah.
Literally slide back into first place. So, but that's what's fun about the game. And then, we got to play them again in 2 more weeks.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but the standings are great. You got us in first place, which doesn't mean anything right now.
We're 7-3.
7-3, 5 games left. We could easily finish 7-8.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that. Snap of a finger.
And like I said, you look at Carolina sitting at 7-2, and all of a sudden now they're sitting at 7-4, and you're like, wow, how did that happen?
Where'd that happen?
Then you got Mavs and Jacksonville at 8-4, tied, or I think Jacksonville has the tiebreaker, and then Carolina's at 4th place at 7-4. So then you got Maine and Mass, or Maine and Lehigh Valley.
Maine and Lehigh Valley, yeah. So.
But it's a good standing, it's a good league. Everybody's fighting, and and with Maine coming on, all of a sudden they can start shaking some things up.
Yeah.
And I got to play them twice.
That's right.
So I got to watch out.
That's right. And on any given Saturday, it goes down in the National Arena League. Don't sleep. People wonder, and if you've not been to an arena game yet, there are still so many people out here who have not taken the opportunity to at least try it. I promise you, I was one of those. Arena football, really? And I went.
Yeah.
And the bug bit me. And you can't get enough. You hate to see the season end. It's just like, can we get some more of this? I mean,
especially when it's a good league and good teams.
Yeah, it's a great league.
I remember we had an indoor arena league for youth, and there was 1 or 2 teams that were really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Right? I would get up Saturday morning, and I literally was like, oh, man, I can't wait to watch these two play. It's going to be a really good game. I'm going to get some youth football.
It's youth
but it was
football.
arena, so it was good. So it's the same thing. We're getting it going. A lot of people are getting that bug too as well, and they're in for a treat for the next 2 home games. I tell you that right now.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to it. Coach, this is that part of what we call the Houston Injury Report, but I refer to it more so as the sick and shut-in list. What is that looking like for us right now?
It looks good. There's not too many people on that list. You got some guys banged up. The only one on that list right now was, Shottle Finney out of Georgia. He got a little banged up. I'm not going to disclose his injury, but he's a little banged up. He may or may not play this week. Will be a kind of a game time decision. But again, you go to Houston Clinic and some rehab with at Beth Bone's place over at Bone Rehab.
Yes.
They do such a good job with the players. Some nicks and bruises here, but that's really the only one that's really on it right now. And hopefully it stays that way, because we talked about this stretch of games. We're the only team that has more bye weeks. Everybody else has bye weeks.
That's right.
This week or next week or whatever. So, so far so good.
Jeremy Johnson.
Yeah.
He's returned.
Well, he went to the CFL, went to the Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Oh, okay.
Went up there on a workout deal, and they signed him to the practice squad for a couple of days. And unfortunately, they had other needs at other positions, which is how football works sometimes. Sometimes you have a bigger need. And so bad for him as they sent him back, good for me, he's back. Great player, great attitude.
Exactly.
Great leader on the team. I mean, you can't ask for a better player. If anybody doesn't know Jeremy, you got to meet this guy. So he's the ultimate competitor. We got a couple things in store for him Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
And but Jeremy's back, and so we're excited to have him back. And our ultimate goal is to get him back to the CFL or get him an NFL shot again.
Exactly. Well, and I think he's going to do big things.
Yeah.
He is definitely one of those talents that cannot be underestimated. So glad to have him back, but
right.
Hey, we wish everyone an opportunity to take it to the next level. There's no crime or harm in actually making that assessment. So, Coach, but this is a very important portion of our segment. Sponsor reads. Now we're going to put you to the test. Someone has been complaining out there in Lion Land. Don't necessarily know if it's actually a Lion Nation member. I don't think it is. It's got to be someone out there in the competition complaining about you reading the sponsors. So, Coach, we're going to give you the opportunity right off the dome to talk about, the dome, yeah.
That's pretty good.
To talk about our sponsors, Coach. Take it away.
I'm just messing with you. So, Metro PCS, the quarterback challenge, make sure the official wireless provider of the Columbus Lions, Shredaway, located down in downtown Columbus. They do all the Shredaway business for us.
Every time out is an Overby Shredaway time out?
Overby, yes, definitely. Mr. Overby, great place. Players in Columbus,
yes.
Players Billiards.
Yes.
And Locals Bar and Grill in North Phoenix City.
Gotta love them, right down
Gotta
the street.
love that. Air Force Reserve is the official sponsor of the defensive player of the game. Jordan's Dogs, okay, it's about 7 blocks. I don't know the address. I don't need to know the address. I got a homing signal in my head that tells me where Jordan's Dogs is. So Natalie over there at Jordan's Dogs, you got to try that. I love how they have different names of colleges.
Teams, and yes, that's awesome.
Except Natalie, you do not have a Lions dog.
Oh, Natalie.
So I'm going to come see you tomorrow. I'm going to eat a bunch of hot dogs, and then we're going to talk about naming a Lions dog.
And speaking of hot dogs, they just had, what was it, Nathan's Hot Dogs, big.
Oh, yeah. What was the record?
some young lady.
A late?
Well, the male wanted, I think he had 73 hot dogs that he ate.
In how long?
I don't know the time.
Why would you do that to your
My
intestines?
goodness, yeah. And then the young lady that won, she's actually a repeater. I think she's won it like 4 times. She ate like 30-something hot dogs.
I'm going to go to Natalie's. I'm going to eat 2.
2.
But they're good. Now,
They are?
She's
Yes.
got a foot-long one over there that you can't eat. It's huge.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So it's pretty big.
Got those folks over at Hangout. Our friends
Nikki
over
at
at
Hangout?
Yeah.
Definitely. The Cuban out there is fantastic. If you haven't had the Cuban at Nikki's over at the Hangout on Veterans Parkway, it's fantastic.
She's got some colossal desserts.
Yes, I remember eating it there when we did the show there.
Oh, man, that was awesome.
That was really good.
Yeah, great food.
I'm missing one.
Allstate.
Oh, you're always in good hands with Allstate.
Always
Make
good.
sure the fans, you got to know, we scored 50-point frenzy.
Yes.
50-point frenzy at Domino's. It's free bread twists.
And garlic.
Yes,
twist,
and that's good.
Yeah, that is
Shout out to
delicious.
Richie Hester. Richie's been a great friend of ours and fan. Every Monday when we make the Domino Challenge, Richie brings pizza to the office with all what we win. Yeah, I love it. I love you, Richie.
I'm missing out. I
Yeah,
need
you
to
gotta come
partake in
down.
some of that. Yeah.
And of course, Popeyes. Those people
Oh,
are great. Popeyes on River Road. I think there's another one on Buena Vista. Don't get me wrong. Don't kill me, Sam. But their staff's great. The jambalaya is to die for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
That side. But every time we get a deuce, which we made it,
Quite frequently
you
this
get a
past.
free apple pie.
Free apple pie. So you check it out, Lion Nation. You are getting fed off of your team's performance.
for being a fan.
I mean, just for being a fan. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Can't beat that with a stick. Well, Coach, that's good. And there are many more sponsors that we could definitely announce. But in lieu of time, because we only have so much time over here at CTV Beam, got to love those guys, Toy Guard, Melissa, the whole staff over there at CTV Beam.
We would be
for everything.
nothing without CTV.
We would be absolutely nothing. You're right, Coach. Absolutely nothing. They make us look good. I mean, gosh, on camera and everything. Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about Jacksonville. Jacksonville, we told you we'd give you a little time.
All right, that's enough.
That's
so what's
enough.
next?
Shut them down. Shut them down.
I know they watch this show.
But they
because
do,
I know they do
yes.
because I hear the announcer at the game. I ain't watching that country podunk
There you
show.
go. So they let you know, haters are
I
going to
wonder
hate,
why
Coach.
he didn't get fined for that.
That's a very good question, Coach.
I don't know. Anyway.
As in the DFO when Arsenio Hall used to say those things that make you say, Yeah,
Did you just say Arsenio Hall?
I did say Arsenio Hall. That's back in the day.
80s.
Yeah, that's back in the day. Some of you, our Lion Nation parishioners, probably before their time. So, yeah. But nevertheless, Coach, we got Jacksonville coming up in the jungle this Saturday. You did give indication that they have somewhat gotten a little bit of a spark. That remains to be seen. But let's talk a little bit about them.
They're playing. I mean, they're playing good defense right now.
Okay.
They're playing really good defense. I think Jeremiah Price, Bowers, the other defensive end, Jacobs, the nose. I think those are 3 quality players. And what's good about them is the same guys week in and week out.
Okay.
They have some consistency, and I think that's the strength of their team is those front 3 for what they do well, and they're just kind of clicking right now. Defensively.
Okay.
I mean, even I know they squeaked one out about Lehigh, but everybody has a letdown every once in a while. So, of course, they're going to come up here, and it's a big game. And to be honest with you, they see it probably more of a rival than I see it to them. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but it's just not. They just happen to be the closest team. I'd rather have a rival with. I mean, I think we have a bigger rival with Carolina than Jacksonville.
Agreed.
It was just that last year in Jacksonville, in the NAL, that was the only 2 teams that were any good.
Exactly. Now the league has just exploded.
Now
with
it's
talented
exploded.
competition.
I think there's there's better matchups out there. But if it whatever it takes to sell tickets and entertain people and make it a good game. So if that's what they want it to be, that's fine by me. It doesn't matter.
In Jacksonville, this time when you come to visit Columbus, keep the game inside the stadium, not in the parking lot. I think you know what I'm talking about. We appreciate you. But nevertheless, I digress. So, Coach, we've given them their moment. Jacksonville, we look forward to seeing you. We will welcome you with open arms yet again right here.
I will say this.
Okay.
They do got some good fans. I've met a lot of really good that's the one good thing about them. They've got some diehard fans, Miguel and Skylar Lanes, all those guys down there.
And they travel.
They're passionate. They travel. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love how passionate they are. They respect the sport. They respect a good game. I mean, you got a couple. They got one knucklehead down there. Every time he puts his hands on players on the field.
Really?
Oh my God! You know what I'm talking about. But and then of course when he gets caught, it's always the player's fault.
Oh,
but
wow.
outside of that, one guy who ruins it for the entire stadium. They just have really good fans, and I love playing down there and conversing. And they give you a hard time, but they're so good about it. And after the game, so kudos for them and kudos to their fans for being. I mean, really, to me, their fans are first class, and I like them a lot.
Good.
It's the upper echelon that everybody else really doesn't like.
Okay. Hey, make it clear, Coach, as to what's going on.
I didn't make it clear. I was just insinuating.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward again to Jacksonville coming in and taking an opportunity to be a part of Lion Nation in the jungle. And, Coach, understand there's going to be a block party going on called a Cruise In. What is it?
That's pretty cool. So Cindy Dunning from Collision Surgeons, if you ever need anything done, you definitely got to go to Collision Surgeons for your car. She's the best around. Cindy Dunning with Collision Surgeons and Jay Patel from Outskirts. They've all partnered up, and she's put together a big, huge cruise in. It's going to start at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
On Saturday, and it's going to be a car show. It's $10 per car, $5 per motorcycle.
Okay.
Once you get in, you get in. We got live music. We have hot dog eating contests. We've got cornhole. We'll have bouncy houses, tailgating. They're going to have a best car show. They're going to have a best motorcycle trophies, all kinds of things. And then, of course, it kind of filters into the game.
Yeah.
And it's just a summer. You know what? It's just a July 7th, post 4th of July block party. Come hang out and let's have a good time.
That is going to be an awesome time.
So I'm excited for it. I'm excited that I'm thankful that Collision Surgeons and Outskirts have come together to say let's put this thing together. And Cindy Dunning at Collision Surgeons has done a ton of work.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That just goes to show the sheer intensity of the fan support, the sponsorship, and just how Columbus and the Tri-City region just come together, have a good time, and do it all in the sake of fun. And what better way than to crescendo taking the party inside the jungle and having one heck of a game. So we're looking forward to that. Enough about that, but let's talk a little bit about our youth, the NFL Flag League.
That was great. I tell you what, it's the first year we've ever done it. It was a long day last Saturday, all those games. But after the first game or two, those kids started getting a handle on it.
Yeah.
Man, it was pretty good. There was a couple good games. Kids are running around, and we've got 3 teams in each age group. I expect next year to be blown up, but it was just nice to be able to be in the Civic Center, rain or shine.
That's right.
In the AC. Kids are having a great time, had some exhibitions at halftime. They'll play again this Sunday afternoon. My kids had practice tonight, and they're practicing, and it's just a chance to be able to continue to play football in a safe manner, playing flag style, and it was good sportsmanship, and I really couldn't have gone any better than I'd planned.
That's good stuff. Well, Lion Nation, we continue to do phenomenal things in this community for our youth. And again, we could not be more than to reemphasize the fact that this is our future. We have got to be able to put strategic operations in place, and what better opportunity than to be engaged with NFL League flag ball. And it's not just for little fellas, little guys.
No, it's co-ed. There's girls playing
I've seen
too.
some girls out here. It's pretty awesome.
The girls are good too now.
Yeah.
And the only team that has girls on it, they're undefeated.
Is that right?
Yep.
Wow. Goes to say, what about the talent of the youth that we have in Columbus and the surrounding area? Coach, there is a question coming from a Lion fan by the name of Richard Swallowberry. Am I pronouncing that correct?
I think it's Swallowberry.
Swallenberg.
Swallenberg.
from
Sorry, Richard.
Sorry about that, Richard. Swallenberg from Noonan, Georgia, by the way, of Noonan, Georgia. He says, Coach, I read online a poll question about the Ring of Honor. If you only had 5 picks, who would they be? Ring of Honor.
Wow, that's a lot of football players
Wow.
to pick from.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know if I can answer that, to be honest with you.
Mm.
Well, Damian Daniels.
Okay.
I think that's a given.
Absolutely given.
Justin Rivers.
Okay.
If they still coach right now, are they eligible or no?
I would say yes.
I would say Brandon Thomas,
Okay.
offensive lineman. That's
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
That's 3 good ones. Wow, are you talking about really? Now, he didn't put in a lot of time, but I'd be crazy if I didn't say Casey Kaz.
Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
There's 4.
That's 4 right there.
That 5th one's tough. I think maybe Ryan Babb.
Say again, Coach?
Ryan Babb.
Ah.
Linebacker.
Okay.
Because we obviously can't pick players from 10. I mean, I've had some really great players, but they were, 1-year phenoms.
Exactly.
And then, of course, they moved on. Honorable mention guys like Terrence Mbagwa, London Crawford, Maurice Dupree, Anthony Shutt. I mean, holy cow, the list is pretty big. David Washington, some guys like that. But
some special
athletes. Those 5 guys, Damian Rivers, Ryan Babb, Brandon Thomas, Casey Kaz. I mean, there's some guys playing right now that'll be on that in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not eligible yet. So I would pick those 5. It's a good question.
That's pretty good. Good question from Richard Swallenberg of way of Noonan, Georgia. We appreciate your question, Richard, and I apologize for really royally screwing up your name. My apologies there. Didn't mean any harm.
That's great.
So, Coach, as we are looking forward to Saturday, we've got a ticket promo going on. Is that correct?
Yeah, come down there and buy them.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, just with the cruise in, I think it's $10. $10 gets you in the cruise in. Of course, tickets at the gate. You can get tickets $10.
Repeat that, Coach, because I think for some people they just feel that
you can get tickets for $10.
$10. Come on.
$10.
You spend that on lunch.
Upper level. More than that.
Yeah, really.
I went to lunch the other day for 2. I take out one of our sponsors. 2 of us went to eat. It was $28.
Good God.
That was a great salad.
Salad.
2 salads, a drink, and I think it was a small lunch plate. It was $28.
Good grief.
You can take 3 people to the Lions game.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, I mean, just go online or go to ColumbusLions.net. Click on the purchase tickets now. Tickets going fast. It's going to be a great game. It's a rival. It's Jacksonville. It's late in the year. It has playoff implications. It has first place on the line.
That's right.
It just has everything you look for in a football game as far as drama, the consequences, the rivalry, the history. There's a lot of things going on. So it's one of those games you don't want to miss.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss it. Lion Nation, we appreciate everything that you do. We ask you to once again support us. Please hold on to your seats. We're going to break for just a quick commercial message, and we'll be right back with the superlatives of the game of the day from our last game against the Massachusetts Pirates. Hold to your seats as we'll be right back with more Roar Time with head coach Jason Gibson.
USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Hi, I'm Charles.
And I'm Tony with Midas here in Columbus, Georgia.
Did you know that 84,000 people in the Chattahoochee Valley go hungry every day? So we've partnered with Feeding the Valley Food Bank here in Columbus, Georgia. Every oil change feeds up to 5 people. Or you can drop off food donations at either one of our locations. Together we can drive out hunger.
Come visit us at either one of our Columbus locations. We're located at 315 13th Street or 1631 Manchester Expressway.
Welcome back to Roar Time with head coach Jason Gibson. I'm Eric Fowler out here in these streets. Dr. Love, only in the jungle. We are back to give you information that is so helpful, and we like to be able to recognize our players of the game. Coach, starting with the Midas player of the game. Who is that, Coach Guy?
Boise State, man. Tyler Rusa. Sorry, Tyler.
Hey.
But, man, he can kick.
Yes,
That's
he
all
can.
I've heard about all week long.
Yes.
And he's a pretty good golfer, too. I think he had to play in a golf tournament. They said he drove it 360.
Good grief.
So I guess strong leg, strong golf game.
Wow.
But great game by him, and he's definitely the Midas player of the game.
That's awesome. And hats off to you, Tyler. I just enjoy saying your last name, Rasa, over the mic, because it really just is such a nice, catchy name. So, Coach, we've got that supercharged offensive play of the game. Who is that guy?
Man, Carver grad and alumni, Jarmon Fortson, 4
Yes.
touchdowns, almost 100 yards again. He's leading the NAL in touchdowns. I repeat, he's leading the league in NAL touchdowns. That's for you, Jacksonville. You know who I'm talking about.
You heard it here.
But he just another phenomenal performance by Jarmon, and and it was definitely a supercharged
Oh,
performance.
yeah, supercharged. Then we've got the Air Force Defensive Player of the Game, Coach.
Darius Rosser, number 93, Arkansas State. Darius had the fumble recovery that was big late in the game.
That's right.
He had a big sack in the game. He's a rookie who's really starting to pick things up, and he was a huge find for us, and we got lucky when we found him. So.
Collisions Surgeons hit of the game, Coach. Talk to us.
Savon Pittman, D, Ohio State. I never thought I'd say that.
Uh-oh,
But,
wow.
good for him. Savon, he's one that had the big hit that caused the fumble.
Exactly, yeah.
That got us back in the game. That got Darius Rosser, the defensive player of the game.
That's right. Then we've got the Sprague's Napa Auto Parts. Who was that guy, Coach?
Jarmon Fortson.
Oh, my goodness.
Great catch. He's a special player.
Yes,
Everybody
he
in the
is.
league. And what's crazy is you look at that and say, wow, how do you stop Jarmon Fortson? But yet when we get to the game against Mass, everybody's like, is 5 playing? Is Deron Neal playing? Because he's unstoppable. But yet the quiet killer is Tristan Purefort.
Yes.
You better cover him.
Pretty boy.
He's quietly in the top 3 or 4 in all the statistics.
That's right.
So, pick your poison, and then, we can hand the ball off to Quavon Hicks. So,
come on.
With the number 1 quarterback leaving, Mason Espinoza. It's just a good problem to have.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And thanks to our ownership. I mean, the Lion Nation would not be anything if we didn't have the full support of our ownership. So hats off to all of those partners who make things happen here at Lion Nation. We're just excited to be a part of the family. And I'm grateful to be a part, to have actually been able to be the voice for the Columbus Lions. And we appreciate that support, and we'll continue to keep things on fire in the jungle. Lion Nation, again, please make certain that you come out in hard droves. Get your tickets if you haven't already gotten them. There's still time to check at the Columbus Civic Center to do so. If not, get on the website immediately. This is a great opportunity. Post 4th of July activity. The weekend is still coming upon us. You want to be a part as it goes down in the jungle. Your Columbus Lions play against the Jacksonville Sharks out of Jacksonville, Florida. Until we see you again, this is the man, the myth, the legend, Coach Jason Gibson, Director of Operations and Head Coach at your Columbus Lions. And I'm Eric Fowler, Dr. Love in the Jungle. Until we meet again, right here at Roar Time with CTV Beam, take care and God bless.